Freedom, trust, choices, courage, happiness, love, hope, equality, fairness, gratefulness, freedom.
Freedom. Is it the blindness that we use as excuses to bypass responsibilities? The slim percentage on a pie chart where the rest is covered by laws and guidelines, making us blind, falling into the dark cave like a country following a dictator. Covering yourself in mud and slipping yourself under fences, attempting to create a better life for your family in the land of opportunity. When you walk out on stage in front of millions to spread a message of hope, or when you take away from some to give to others. When you breathe that last breath on a field with wounds no doctor can heal. When a child is born and held in the arms of its mother. Freedom, a collection of fears disarming the citizens, presenting the image of world peace, while in the guts of that body, disease is spreading. The people being betrayed by their government, believing what they are forced to believe in, following the dreams they are persuaded to follow. The idea of freedom is very different from the reality. Freedom is in the hands of our generation. Freedom is the kiss goodbye when a child is on their way to school.
Surrender. Shackles clang. My ankles bleed in an effort to escape. But these iron bracelets label me for who I am. The land stretches effortlessly, teasing, taunting, as miles translate into days. Remnants of battle are splayed across the dirt. Color has been splashed into every crack, or perhaps lack of color. The dust settles, and the victor is clear. The enemy stands raising a white flag. I stand raising a white flag. Exhaustion wrings my throat as tears form a mask over my face. All this time I've been running farther from myself and closer to the rope coils that now replace the exhaustion. Ropes swing. My skin shines amber under the judgmental sun, revealing the crime I have committed. Breath is gone. I am free. For every white flag could not be rid of every dark speck of dust.
To some people, fire is like freedom. Like love, it can burn. Like power, it can corrupt. Like water, it can heal. And like people, it can change. But the one thing fire can do that nothing else can is meld things together naturally. As fire burns, earth and its disciples become one, with or without the power of the sun. And as it burns, it brings peace and tranquility to mind. Like watching rainfall, it is naturally divine. As fire burns, sadly, it can be used as whips to burn and oppress people as pleased, to starve people of freedom and fill others with power and greed. But as fire burns, it can also ring the silent bells of liberty. Fire and freedom are what can set people free. To some people, fire is like freedom. It's the light that people seek to see, the light at the end of the tunnel that you can never reach. But in my opinion, freedom is fire to me.
Pain was sent through my body, straight from the threatening whip. He was cursing, and I was howling. The two sounds mingled together in horror. I wasn't too scared. I knew God would be there, for me, for my lost mother, who loved me so. I was taken, stolen, from a place I truly belonged, from the only place I belonged. I fought back, hitting, biting, kicking. Nothing helped. I just became numb with fear as a wave of sadness washed over me, knocking me to the waiting ground. He shrieked at me like that was all he could do, but I was stronger than him, braver than him. I couldn't let him hold me back. I'd changed since the abduction. Wait, I was told not to use that word. Even saying it sent chills down everyone's spine. All the wicked memories came back. A hushed silence would come over everyone, including me. He captured me out one night. I still have horror nightmares of the beating, scratching, shouting. He threatened to kill me, and not just to scare me. He was dead serious, but so was I. In Gettysburg, the fields still roll, amidst the echoes and those who know, remember past days of the brave and the bold, of young men in rags of blue and gray, and thunder echoing across our land, and the children of America where they once lay, torn apart, not hand in hand. And I say now to those who know, do you remember those days of old, when a giant among men stood before the masses, and his words echoed across a desolate land, from the lowest of low to the highest of classes? Freedom, he cried, freedom. In Gettysburg the birds still fly, free to roam and free to fly, across our land where, years ago, sharp trumpets blared, neighbors turned their backs on their brothers, and neither ever admitted their heirs. And a generation was born, while echoing thunder crashed and sharp trumpets blared. And a voice called out to his people forlorn, freedom, he cried, freedom. And in Gettysburg the children run, across green fields that still roll, where man-made flames once rained down on everyone, and a blonde girl in pigtails takes her friend's hand, which is darker than hers, and their laughter drifts up to the cloudless sky, where, somewhere above, young men in rags of blue and gray look down and smile upon the sight before their eyes, where once green earth was trampled black, and scarlet pools ran through summer flowers, and a voice cried out through all our land, freedom, he cried, freedom. But now we are one again, birds free to fly over Gettysburg, finally enjoying the liberty to be who we are. Freedom, we cry, freedom.
On January 1st, 1863, Abraham Lincoln freed the slaves, promised no more chains, but here we are, still shackled to an unshakable history. And just because rappers started painting them gold does not mean they lose the resonance. See, I'll tell you where freedom lives. Still not here where the color brown is looked down upon. The oppression is subtle, white hoods turned invisible. And though Martin Luther and Rosa began paving the way, that does not mean we may put our shovels down. We cannot stop digging. Maybe it lurks underground. Yes, maybe Harriet Tubman ran right past it on a rescue mission. Maybe I should be looking upward. Maybe I can find freedom in God, but maybe it's all on us. I don't know. All that I know is that freedom still does not live here, and I've never stopped looking. I want to feel open and unashamed to bump 90s rap music and pick my fro in peace without feeling like a stereotype and a negative one at that. The task for which I'm asking will not be easy, and it is not a one-man job. It is imperative that we all start shattering shackles, incumbent on every man of every color to crack the locks of the barriers between us. Freedom will not come just because we need it to. We have to want it to. A balance must be established because justice and liberty go hand in hand. On January 1st, 1863, Abraham Lincoln freed the slaves, promised no more chains, but here we are, living in a melting pot, trying not to mix, so mix it up. This constraint is getting old. Let's turn gold chains into broken ones, and in whichever place the colors of our skins blend into one people, there is where freedom lives.